Ahoy there! Ready to set sail on a career adventure.
Aha!
Today's deep dive is all about prepping you for a job that's anything but ordinary.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
We're talking engine minder interviews.
That's right.
Now picture this. You're on a riverboat. The engine's humming. You're the one keeping that vessel moving. That's the engine minder life.
It's a pretty crucial role.
And we've got the inside scoop to help you land that job. We'll be diving into RoleCatcher's Career Guide and their Interview Guide.
Excellent resources, some really good stuff in those.
Yeah, we're going to uncover some pretty surprising insights, like how this industry is actually growing.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize that.
Yeah, and what kind of career path you can expect.
It's not just a job, it's a career.
And even certifications that can give you a real edge.
Yeah, those are super valuable.
So let's get started.
All
First
right.
things first, what exactly does an engine minder do?
Well, at its core, it's all about maintaining and operating the engines on inland water transport vessels.
Okay, so we're talking like riverboats, barges, ferries.
Exactly.
Okay, so it's not just about knowing your way around an engine. You've got to be ready to handle the unique demands of working on the water.
Absolutely. This isn't a desk job. It can be physically demanding long hours, potentially nights, weekends, holidays, exposure to all kinds of weather.
Yeah, you got to be tough.
Mm.
But the rewards can be huge.
Oh, yeah.
Think job security, the
Definitely.
potential to move up. You could become a lead deckhand,
Right.
maybe even a mate. Some folks even work their way up to captain or engineer.
Now that's the dream.
Okay, so let's get to the heart of the matter, the interview. RoleCatcher's Guide has a bunch of questions that hiring managers love to ask, and we're going to break down the most important ones.
That's good.
So first up, can you explain your experience with engine maintenance? Now, you might not have worked on a riverboat before, but any experience with engines is valuable here.
Yeah, think back. Did you ever tinker with a car engine? A small engine? Maybe even a lawnmower? It all
Yeah.
counts. The key is to connect your past experience to the engine minder role.
Right. Show them you've got the aptitude and the passion for engines. And this is where RoleCatcher's AI can be super helpful. It analyzes the job description, and it tells you exactly which skills to highlight. So say the job posting mentions troubleshooting. You can talk about that time you fixed your dad's outboard motor.
That's a great example. And don't forget about certifications. If you have a marine engine operator certification, that's a huge plus. Mention it.
Okay, next question. How do you ensure the engine is properly maintained? This one's all about showing you've got a systematic approach. Like, you're not just going to wing it.
Right.
Think about it like a checklist. Regular inspections.
Right.
Following the manufacturer's guidelines.
Yeah.
Keeping detailed logs.
Exactly.
It all shows that you're organized, you're proactive.
You're on top of things.
Yeah. And RoleCatcher's Career Guide actually talks about the importance of preventive maintenance. Senior engine minders, they actually develop these programs.
They do.
So if you can mention your understanding of this concept,
Yeah.
it shows you're thinking ahead. Like, you're already envisioning yourself in that leadership role.
Yeah, you're already thinking like a senior engine minder.
And don't be afraid to get specific.
No.
Like, you could say, I would check the oil levels, the coolant, the belt tension, and the filter conditions.
Right, you're showing them, what you're talking about. You're not just throwing around buzzwords.
Okay, now for a question that might throw some people off.
Yeah.
Can you explain your experience with diesel engines? What if your background is mainly with gas engines?
Well, in that case, honesty is key. Acknowledge your limited experience, but emphasize your willingness to learn. You could say something like, my primary experience is with gasoline engines, but I'm fascinated by diesel engines and confident in my ability to learn quickly.
And here's a pro tip. Mention that you've been studying up on diesel engines, reading manuals, watching tutorials, anything that shows you're taking initiative.
The interviewer wants to see that you're hungry to learn and adapt. You're not just complacent with what you already know.
And even if you do have experience with diesel engines, be prepared to go deeper.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
They might ask you about specific components,
Absolutely.
troubleshooting techniques.
Yeah, they'll want to see how deep your knowledge goes.
Okay, question 4. How do you troubleshoot engine problems?
This is a big one.
Yeah, this one's all about showing off those problem-solving skills.
You got to think like an engine detective. You gather information,
Okay,
analyze the symptoms,
gotcha.
systematically eliminate potential causes. Mentioning things like using diagnostic tools, visual inspections,
Okay.
referring to service manuals.
They want to see you can think critically,
Absolutely.
work independently,
Yeah.
not just panic when something goes wrong.
Right.
Don't just say, I'd replace the spark plugs. Walk them through your thought process. Show them you can diagnose the problem effectively.
Exactly. And if you have a great story about a time you successfully troubleshooted a tricky engine problem, this is the time to tell it.
Oh, a good story can really make you stand out.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, speaking of stories, let's move on to question 5. Can you describe a time when you had to troubleshoot and repair a complex engine problem? This is your chance to shine.
Absolutely. This is where you can really showcase your skills and experience.
Remember this STAR method. Situation, task, action, result.
A classic.
Clearly describe the situation, the problem, the steps you took to fix it,
Right.
and the positive outcome.
It's all about painting a clear picture for the interviewer.
Choose a story that really demonstrates your technical knowledge, problem-solving skills, and maybe even a bit of creativity.
Yeah, creativity. That's a good one.
Like, did you have to improvise a solution?
Yeah.
That shows resourcefulness.
That's a great quality to highlight.
And don't forget to highlight any specific skills or knowledge that you applied. Did you have to research technical diagrams?
Yeah.
Use specialized tools? Those details make your story more compelling.
More believable, too.
All right, question 6. How do you ensure compliance with safety regulations when maintaining engines? Safety is a big deal in this industry. They want to know you take it seriously.
Absolutely paramount. You can't mess around with safety.
So start by stating your awareness of the relevant regulations and your commitment to following them.
Right.
Don't just talk the talk, walk the walk.
I love that.
Describe specific actions you take, like wearing personal protective equipment, keeping a clean work area, regularly reviewing those safety protocols.
Right, you got to show them you're not just paying lip service to safety. It's ingrained in everything you do.
And here's an important point. Mention your willingness to speak up if you see unsafe practices.
Yes, that's so important.
It shows you're not just following the rules, you're truly invested in everyone's safety.
You're a team player.
Okay, on to question 7. How do you stay up to date with the latest engine maintenance technologies and procedures? This one's all about showing your commitment to continuous learning.
The engine world is always evolving. You got to keep up.
So think about it this way. The inland water transport industry is constantly evolving, and you need to stay ahead of the curve.
Absolutely.
So you could mention things like attending industry conferences,
Right.
reading trade publications,
Yeah.
following online forums,
Uh-huh.
even taking online courses. Give specific examples.
Yes, specific.
Like, did you recently read about a new diagnostic tool?
Yeah.
Or attend a webinar on a specific technique? It shows you're genuinely interested in staying ahead of the curve.
And that's a wrap on our deep dive into the first 7 interview questions.
Wow. Time flies when you're talking engines.
Clear.
I know, right?
That was a lot of questions.
It was, but we're just getting started.
Oh, yeah.
We've tackled some tough questions, but there's more to acing this interview than just giving textbook answers.
For sure. You got to go beyond the basics.
So let's tap into RoleCatcher's Career Guide.
All right.
They've got some insights that can really give you an edge.
Yeah, they really emphasize the importance of networking.
Networking.
Yeah, attending industry events.
Yeah.
Connecting with professionals online, even just reaching out to people you admire for like informational interviews.
Yeah.
It can open so many doors.
Okay,
Yeah.
I get it. But what about building a portfolio?
The portfolio.
Yeah, like when I hear that, I think artists, designers,
Yeah.
not necessarily engine minders. Does that really apply here?
Oh, absolutely. Think of it as a collection of evidence that showcases your skills. Doesn't have to be fancy.
Okay.
Like photos of projects you've worked on, documentation of successful repairs,
Okay.
even written testimonials from past supervisors.
Oh, so even without tons of formal experience, you can still show them what you're capable of.
Exactly. You're painting a picture of your passion and your abilities.
I like that.
And don't underestimate the power of soft skills.
Soft skills.
Yeah, things like teamwork, communication, work ethic. RoleCatcher really emphasizes those. They're just as crucial as technical skills.
Oh, they're definitely looking for the whole package.
Absolutely.
Speaking of showing initiative, let's talk about asking questions during the interview.
Oh, yeah, it's a two-way street.
What kind of questions should we be asking?
Well, you could ask about the company culture, the team you'd be working with, professional development opportunities, or even the specific challenges of the role.
Oh, okay.
Anything that shows you're genuinely interested and engaged.
I always get so nervous and forget to ask anything.
I hear you. That's why it's a good idea to jot down a few questions beforehand.
Oh, good idea.
And remember to listen attentively to their answers. Ask follow-up questions to show you're really paying attention.
Right. Okay. Back to the interview questions.
All right, let's do it.
Next one is, how do you prioritize engine maintenance tasks? This sounds like they're trying to see how organized you are.
You got it. They want to know you can handle multiple tasks and make smart decisions under pressure.
Okay, so how do we answer this one?
We'll start by outlining your general approach to prioritization. Do you use a to-do list? A priority matrix?
Okay.
Then explain the factors you consider when deciding what needs immediate attention.
Things like the severity of the issue,
Yeah.
impact on the vessel's operation,
Uh-huh.
safety concerns,
Of course.
and manufacturer recommendations.
Yeah, exactly. And be prepared to give specific examples. They might present you with a hypothetical scenario with multiple tasks and ask you how you'd prioritize them.
Oh, that's tricky.
It is, but it's a great way to test your critical thinking skills.
Okay, on to, can you describe your experience with engine rebuilds? Now, this one might be a deal breaker for someone just starting out.
Yeah, if you have experience, that's fantastic. Describe the projects you've worked on, the engines you've rebuilt, the challenges you faced. Highlight your attention to detail your ability to follow complex procedures.
But what if you haven't personally rebuilt an engine?
Well, honesty is always the best policy.
Right.
Mention any relevant coursework or training you've had, or express your eagerness to learn.
Okay.
Maybe you assisted someone with a rebuild.
Yeah.
Describe what you observed and learned.
Gotcha.
You can still demonstrate knowledge by discussing the general principles of engine rebuilding and the importance of following proper procedures.
So even without hands-on experience, you can still show them you understand the fundamentals.
Exactly.
All right, final question from RoleCatcher's Guide. How do you ensure that engines are operating at peak efficiency? This one feels a little more high level.
It's about understanding engine performance optimization. You got to go beyond just keeping the engine running. You want to make sure it's running its best.
Okay, so where do we start with this one?
Start by emphasizing regular maintenance, inspections, cleaning, timely part replacements. All the things that prevent problems before they start.
Right, preventive maintenance is key.
Absolutely. You could also mention things like monitoring engine data, fuel consumption, emissions, temperature readings. All those things can give you clues about potential inefficiencies.
So you're not just fixing problems, you're actively looking for ways to improve performance.
Exactly.
And don't forget about your ability to make adjustments.
Right?
Tuning engine settings, replacing worn components.
If you use specific techniques or tools for optimization, mention those. Things like fuel additives, specialized lubricants, diagnostic software.
Show them you're on top of the latest advancements.
Exactly.
Wow, we've really covered a lot of ground today. We've walked through some tough interview questions, explored career insights, and even learned how RoleCatcher's AI can help us tailor our answers.
It's like having a personal interview coach right in your pocket.
Right.
Imagine uploading a job description and getting instant feedback on how well your resume aligns with the required skills.
That would be amazing.
RoleCatcher's AI can actually do that. It can even identify gaps in your skills and suggest ways to strengthen your application.
Wow. That's a game changer.
It really is.
Okay, before we wrap up, I want to touch on one more thing that RoleCatcher emphasizes. Career progression.
Oh, yeah. There is a clear path for growth in this field.
They outline 3 main stages. Starting as a deckhand, where you're assisting with deck maintenance handling lines, even supporting the engine minder with basic engine tasks.
Yeah, it's like your maritime boot camp.
You're learning the ropes.
Exactly.
And then you move up to junior engine minder, taking on more responsibility with engine operation and maintenance troubleshooting documentation.
You're starting to get your hands dirty.
And finally, you reach the top senior engine minder.
The engine guru.
You're overseeing everything leading repairs, mentoring junior crew members.
Yeah, you've come a long way from swabbing the deck.
So you've got this clear path to climb. But what can you do early on to set yourself up for success as a senior engine minder?
That's a great question.
RoleCatcher wants you to really think about that.
It's all about planning ahead.
What technical skills should you master? Which soft skills will help you lead a team? Are there specific certifications that can give you an edge?
You got to have a vision for your career.
And speaking of certifications, RoleCatcher highlights a few that can really boost your credentials.
Oh, yeah. Those are important.
Marine engine operator, basic first aid, and CPR and safety training.
Those show you're serious about your craft.
And committed to safety.
Absolutely.
And don't forget, RoleCatcher offers a free version of their AI tools.
Oh, that's right.
You can test them out, see how they can help you tailor your answers, get feedback for specific jobs.
It's like having a secret weapon in your job search.
We've covered a ton of ground today. From those tricky interview questions to valuable career insights, But remember, the most important thing is to be yourself. Show your passion and demonstrate your willingness to learn and grow.
Absolutely. Enthusiasm goes a long way.
Preparation and confidence are key. By taking the time to understand the role, research the company, practice your answers, and utilize resources like RoleCatcher, you'll be well on your way to landing that dream job.
You got this.
So go out there, do your homework, and ace that engine minder interview. We're rooting for you. Thanks for joining us on The Deep Dive.